Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we are watching a new show, Steins Season 1, Episode 1. I don't know anything about this show. It's an anime, I'm pretty sure. It's on Crunchyroll. Sometimes on the channel we get Chainsaw Man's coming out. That's supposed to be a big series. Like, let's catch it when the first episode airs. That's not this show, from what I understand. I'm pretty sure it's already complete. So I'm interested in that already. I don't know what the themes or the characters look like. I don't know what genre it is, which is also kind of scary because this show is picked from our subscribers and our patrons, and I don't know what I'm going to be in for, you know?
Yeah, like, are they, is it zombies?
I don't know.
I hate zombies.
You hate zombies. I get shy when sexual things happen on screen.
It's zombies and sexual things.
Maybe. That's our best bet,
is,
probably.
Yeah.
If you guys want to watch along with us, our first episode is free for everybody on Patreon to watch our full length alongside us. We also offer 2 episodes ahead early access there, if that interests you. If not, whatever. I'm excited to talk about the show once the first episode's over with you. You know,
once we've realized what the show is.
Decompress, yeah. But without further ado, are you ready?
Yes.
Sweet. Infinite. We also have notebooks. I'm confused.
No.
Prologue to the beginning and end.
Are you still confused?
A little bit.
Infiltrating my infiltration?
Time machine?
It's not an earthquake.
The time machine?
It's the time machine. Something that came out of the time machine. Oh, but he's gonna teach you how harsh life is. You don't get it. Oh, okay.
What's up with the phone? What? Time travel's already happening. Maybe? I don't know. Does he just keep memos? What the?
Is he crazy?
Was it like a different him? See, that doesn't sound off. What was...
名前書いてもオークションじゃ1万くらいするんだよ。
資金が完全にそこを突きかけているのだ。
見つけても売らないよ言って。今の
外に出ていろ。
Did that sound like him?
It did a little bit.
おい、
Blood. The girl. But that didn't sound like her screaming.
どうしたの？顔が真っ青だよ。
死んでた。8階で。
That he's gonna go tell her. That's what he wanted to tell her.
Yeah.
That she was gonna get
But
stabbed.
it looks like he already time traveled. Is it the phone?
なんだ。
The bells, the chimes.
Makes me think of Spirited Away.
てってるー。はいおかり。
これは
何が？
人だ。人がどうして消えた？あ、目の前で。
そう。
さあではない。お前も見てただろ。
見てない。
何を言ってるんだ。
A satellite? Is this intro?
I think so.
I have a headache. So, was Kurisu correct in a different intended way when she said that he was talking to himself on the phone? Like, in talking into the phone, can he communicate or leave messages for other variations of himself? Like future or past?
I do think that we're right in guessing that she did talk to him 15 minutes ago, and he was going to try to keep her from getting stabbed.
And I agree with you that it's probably him who time traveled to say, you're gonna get, I need to tell you something, it's crazy important, and then something came up where he's like, should I be doing this, you know?
He found the metal upa.
Is he talking to me?
Himself. Ooh, a super hacker.
Itaru.
つーか、そろそろ諦めた方がよくソフトに期待すんなって。
よく聞け。我がラボの目的は世界の支配構造の変革による根を生み出すこと。
Which will bring chaos.
分かったなら貴様の秘密をとっ。
さんからはマユシーたちがゲームみたいに見えてるのかな。
Hack him.
みんな二次元の女の子もそうなの？
あれは別。あの子たちは僕の嫁だから。
世界の支配構造を打ち砕く方法について考え。
Is he making this organization up?
って設定なわけでしょ。
やれやれだる。自分の殻に困らず。
一人はここですか。あ、それよりも報道のヘリ到着したみたい。
It is a satellite. Oh god, we got a time.
あれは何だったんだ。ラボからラジカンに向かった。しかし
It's a clock.
人工衛星が撃
てて、オカリンがついに機関が動き出したとか言って。
博士の会見だぞ。ラジカンで12時から
はいってん。よかったじゃん。
スタインズゲートの選択。
ってところから意味不明なんですが。
おったんだよ。チャンネルを変えたから。
I love that that's what the remote is.
ミスターブラウン。
もう壊したのか。なあ、修理代1000円。
渡したそ
大家
ちらに
にそういう口を聞くのか。
Landlord.
でもマユシーはオカリンの人質なので。
修理代2000円な。
It's cool that you can see the reflection in her eyes.
どうする？
矢のタコ坊主まで抱き込んだようだ。
Dr. Pepper?
本当にドクペが好きだよね。
Love this
It's
guy.
like someone else I know.
選ばれし者の知的飲料だからな。
Facts!
It's all these memories.
And sounds.
誰機関がミスター・ブラウンを使って妨害してきた以上、前よりバナナを持て。
またゲルバナ作るの？もう
ケチケチしていて
He's
は機関の
microwaving
ブラウンを
bananas.
させん。
肩の
I love that they used her voice.
120シャープ。
普段と違って逆回転してるんだ
The sound direction in this show is absolutely insane.
そこに重大な意味があるかも。
ないね。でもなく冷たくなるわけでもな
Is that, do they really get green like that?
では前よりにその命を。
Is it mold?
なんかね、ブニュブニュ
Sounds
だったよ
gross.
味もないし。
ブニュブニュだねって言ってみて。
あなたのバナナブニュブニ
言わせるな変態が。
That was good.
あー、溶ける。
This is all in one episode.
立ってないぞ。メイド喫茶で大学の講義ができるか。
あー、単位必須。
Wish
But if
they
they
would,
did.
but if they did.
なんで
いいから
プライバシーの審
されたというメールだ。
先週来たやつ
Last week?
3通に分けてスパほら
受信日時7月23日。
な
先週。はい。今日は何日だ。
あに20
過去に送られている。
あ
Message was sent in the... Alright, that was Steins Gate, Season 1, Episode 1. This show is going to be the death of me.
It really is. I feel like I'm being tested. I feel like my brain and its processing power
I
is
feel
going to
like
be tested by
I feel
this
like I'm
show.
being fucked with. Like
Maybe that's better. Maybe that's a better way to put it.
Okay. So there's a small I don't know, there's a small inkling in me that I feel like time travel might be involved.
Maybe,
Maybe
possibly.
there's a chance.
I don't think we have enough evidence for that.
Okay.
yet.
All right. So let's just fucking get into it because I need to find my bearings. We open up
Where
the
are they? I don't even know.
we open up the show with what I am maybe guessing is the idea of what Ocarine or what's his full name?
Kiyomo?
Kiyoma
It's like
or
Ho-
Kiyomo?
Hoenn?
Ocarine
Kiyoma?
is the nickname,
We're
right?
gonna go with Ocarine.
Um,
I'd have to hear it.
we'll
being said
find
a
it
few
later
more
in the
times.
episode. Regardless, I think that the opening line may be a guess for it. The whole universe has a beginning but no end. This could be what his idea of Steins Gate is.
I think in some ways it makes sense because if you can change the future by going back in time, then is there really an end? No, there's infinite options of what
Yeah.
the future can be. I think that makes sense.
Like of course there's a point of beginning, but
Mhm.
if you're unable to go back to the point of creation and beginning, and there is an infinite loop of people consistently trying to change their present and their past, then that would result in infinite possibilities or
And uncertainty.
and uncertainty. It's interesting that they're using like power lines to like symbolize it, like seemingly
I mean,
in
because
the
that's how
beginning.
you envision it. This is a line. That's how you envision time.
I wonder if like each pole could be like a I don't know, like a marker to a significant moment that branches
you-
off different changes or paths.
Yeah, it's like you think about it like you're start from this one pole, this one power line pole,
yeah.
and you're traveling down, and then you hit this big moment, this other pole, this point in history that you might want to change, and then it might go off into another pole this way and another pole this way, that sort of thing. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I like that visual. It's very interesting.
The
It makes
stars
my brain
too
go.
have a beginning. but their own power leads to their destruction.
It's true. Eventually.
So what's the difference between, like, we, in this universe, based off of his first sentence, there is no end, right? But a star's destruction would be a star's end, potentially, right?
Their own power leads to their destruction, and therefore their end.
So is there a lack of power suggested there that we don't have?
Well, it's interesting because right before he says that, he says the wise are the most foolish. Or
That's
right after he
it.
says that, the wise are the most
History
foolish.
dictates that it is the wise who are most foolish. Which
Are the wise the ones that are trying to... that have the most power and therefore are the most have the most destruction?
perhaps, or like a lot of philosophers out there in the course of history spew the same the same sentiment of the moment you begin to think that you are wise or intelligent is the moment that you are not, right?
Okay, yeah, I like that.
I
think that would fit.
Yeah,
the vibe that I'm getting from the show.
There's so much noise though, and then it goes right to our main character, Ocarine. One could call this a final warning from God, and he's talking to those who can still resist.
Resist what? Resist power? Resist self-flattery? I don't know. He thinks of himself as a mad scientist and pretty awesome.
One could call this final. Okay, so so I'm just gonna go crazy right off the bat. If our making or understanding of what this could potentially mean with no context in this world is, the moment you begin to think that you're wise, the moment you're not, right? This could be one final warning from God. It involves time travel. Is the utilization of time travel and wanting to affect the course of history, that action in of itself is showing that you are not a wise person, because you shouldn't be, like, even given this power, you shouldn't be somebody to go back and mess with it. So the one final warning from God could be to those who can still resist,
who can resist using the power.
Yeah.
It's the final warning that if you did choose to dictate history, then you are gonna be destroyed.
Maybe.
Interesting. Okay.
But again, he's talking it into a phone.
Yes, which we know isn't on or is, but it isn't recording, or it isn't a phone call with someone, which we previously, when we get this opening shot, we are under the assumption that he's on the phone with someone.
Yeah.
Because why would he just be talking to himself? We're not coming into this with any sort of context of his personality. So we just assume that he is actually talking to someone all of these times. But the screen is always black when we get a shot of it.
My assumption, within the first 2 minutes, was that he was making notes on his phone, voice memos. But again, it could very easily be anything here. We don't know anything in this world right now. The whole idea of an organization, is that even real?
When he brings it up, the word choice that his friend, I think Itaru is his name, called him
Itaru.
Delusional when he brought up the organization.
The way that they played it this episode makes me feel okay, at the beginning, we're supposed to get the idea that he's delusional, but they've let that sit and have other people in this world commentate on that delusion so much that I'm privy to thinking that can't be the case. It has to be
I
real.
could totally see narratively that, since we're being led to believe that there's this, there's a tone of uncertainty, instability, this guy might be a little off. We can't totally trust everything he says. He's not a protagonist that we can, at the moment, we feel like we fully trust everything that he's saying. Because we're also getting other characters calling him delusional, and he's talking about all these big things but not backing it up with evidence. And then we also have crazy things happening to him. And I think that would be a really great narrative to actually have an organization actually existing.
Yeah.
And that he was right about that. I think I would like that.
Somebody who is paranoid can see a lot of things that necessarily aren't there, but because they're paranoid, they are more observational for things that are there too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting character dynamic for Ocarine, or whatever his name is. So going through the episode, we're at like 2 minutes here, or a little bit prior. Doesn't this line from Mayuri kind of sound like hit a little bit different after we watch we know it's about time travel a little bit, when Mayuri's like, what's going to happen here? Like, of course that like my default is like, oh, what's the event gonna happen? Like what's gonna take place?
But the dialogue choice, I love that you're bringing that up,
choice.
because she could have just said, what are we here for again? Like, who's speaking?
Yeah.
But what's going to happen here?
And how he responds is what I first took her sentence to mean, right? Like what the event is is going to be. It's a conference, whatever. But with the context of time travel, it kind of like I raises a suspicion right now for me with Mayuri. I don't know.
Yeah, but
at least this timeline.
Right. There's this interesting feeling that, is it possible that none of this existed until this day that he goes to this conference about a time machine, and there's that other girl there that he sees get stabbed, and the satellite falls from the sky, like, and all of these different things. That was 2 weeks ago, and it seems like everything is kind of starting here.
Yeah.
With the topic of a time machine. And he hears an earthquake. He runs upstairs. That's obviously the satellite falling onto the roof. But then he runs somewhere else right after, and it's the stabbing.
Okay, wait. Before we get to the stabbing or anything, after he hears the thing on the roof, which we get a peek at, right? And we get a peek at a person out there too, which is really wild. And Mayuri doesn't come with. Mayuri stays behind.
It doesn't seem completely
here it looks like it landed. It doesn't look like it's
like
destroyed the building. So already I'm like, and obviously it derives later in the episode too, but this seems like a different point of time or like place that we are later in the episode. Mm-hmm. One thing I wrote down towards the end was like, is there any chance that we're being shown this story not in chronological order? Like,
totally.
Yeah.
But it also fits with the idea that there are so many different paths that things could go down by the actions of every single person.
What does this mean? Like, it could just be, no, don't come out here, but like, I don't know. It's very bizarre.
When I first saw it, I got the impression that they were landing this thing on the roof, or landing something on the roof.
And then he gets another something from his phone right after. Like, okay, I have a question for you. I know this person's obviously, like our main character is obviously complex, right? Mm-hmm. But if you heard a big earthquake-like thing, run to the roof, peek out the door, you see a satellite has landed in front of you with a person you don't know going like this, and you feel your phone buzz in your pocket, are you going to put your attention onto your phone, or are you going to continue to look at what's going on in front of you?
Another question. Why, if you were with him, why is he the only one that runs to the roof?
Did he stay behind?
Maybe, but she goes and starts like looking at the gachas, like the little toys.
Potentially. So I wanted to see if he said anything here. Maybe even not.
Okay, he hears it. An earthquake. No, from above. And he just runs out. And she instead just goes and is like, oh, oopas.
Maybe. Or it's a different her.
That's what I'm talking about, is that it doesn't... Her calling and being in the location she is once he arrives there doesn't fit with the timeline that right this second we're in, where he goes to the roof and sees what's on the roof.
We can get a little like bit of attention, like a detail of what the person looks like. It looks like they have brown hair, right, on the roof,
and a hat and gloves.
And it's the buzzing of the phone that makes him, put his attention elsewhere. And then right after is, you called me here for this, but like it already feels weird at this point, right?
Like, why wouldn't she have stayed in that room? If he ran out, why would she go somewhere else? Why wouldn't she follow him?
Is there anything visibly different about her at this, like then when we see her again? So what she's wearing, she has like the blouse under her clothing, and then she has a bow tie.
Her outfit is adorable.
Her outfit is adorable, and she has like some sort of clip on her hat as well. And then when we see her again, she looks the same.
Exactly
I believe.
The same.
So it doesn't give us any idea that it's a different...
And they also paint her as maybe being a little bit spacey of a character throughout the episode. So I guess you could believe that after an earthquake-like sound, he runs away. She'd be like, ooh, I don't have these collectibles over here.
Even since I've known you since we were kids, and she still has the 3 bows. God, was it 3 before? I'm already going crazy. God, this show is going to be the death of me. I mean that.
Because you might try to overanalyze.
Yeah.
Or, like, really
Because it already gives me the type of impression that I need to really fucking pay attention to what's going on. So then they got, what is it? The
Kyoma.
Metal Aura. Oh, yes, the main character's name. The Metal Aura, which was like the little toy that she got.
The Upa?
The Upa. Not Aura. Upa.
Upa. The metal Upa. 10,000 yen.
Yes. And then, so after the little interaction here, we go back to...
the conference. And instead of 2 people in the room, he even says, like, oh, there's not a lot of people here. I guess the organization, you know, kept people from coming. But then when we get to the actual talk, a lot of the seats are full.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some empty, but it's definitely more people than originally when we were in the room.
Yeah. Like, there was only, like, 2 people there to begin with, or 4 maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get back there, it's...
a decent amount of people.
Yeah. Which is odd, but it's all... Okay, so
it's a decent amount of people.
So at this point, in, like, a chronological sense, did we go from the store with Mayuri and come back here? Or is this showing us, like, another version of events if the satellite didn't fall, if Mayuri wasn't even there, what he would be doing, like, here? Or what he did here, maybe. Or is it afterwards, and when he came back?
Because we know that she was with him on the day that the satellite fell because they looked up at the satellite together. But was she there on the day that the girl got stabbed is the question mark.
Yeah.
Like, why is she not sitting next to him, you know, in this scenario? And she's not there when he interacts with Kurisu?
Kurisu, yeah.
Kurisu?
Back then you were going to tell me something. So that obviously gives us the idea that later on in the episode that another version of himself, or to use time travel to warn her about the stabbing at some point that we haven't seen yet, right? That's the assumption?
Yes.
And
he just acts like so... that interaction of how he acts with Kurisu there when she's like trying to have this conversation with him and he's like, oh, I've been caught by the organization's agents. I was like, what is he doing?
It's so bizarre, dude. Like, and then he leaves, runs away, hides behind a wall. I want to look at, like, his phone. Things went by so quick, dude. God, do you see that? It's like half of a frame. This show... Okay.
So we get...
it looks like an
date.
Attachment.
We get a date and a time.
An attachment, though,
mm-hmm.
with an image or a movie that we don't see.
And it's all static. Maybe when he opens it.
The 28th at 12:26, so 26 minutes after the satellite fell, right? But we don't know if there's a satellite in this timeline. Version
because
thing
we
yet.
saw something landed on the roof, not destroying the
But this
roof.
could be even like a third option here we're already at. Because if everything was canceled and work was canceled and the satellite fell, it's 12:26 here and things aren't canceled, right? So this has to be a different...
because apparently the conference got canceled.
Yeah. Okay, here's the like translated version. Received mail. 12:26, sender, SG do I have to write that down?
Yes.
God.
Subject, no subject.
Yeah, and then attachment.
IMV001. It's like a code.
I'm feeling
Do
like
not
a
write
lunatic.
that down.
I'm writing the sender down.
Why?
Because I don't know.
Because if it happens again, then you'll know.
Well, later in the episode we get you know, God, I feel like a lunatic. This
is gonna destroy you.
Yeah. Later in the episode we get was this the image that he was receiving? I guess he watching something.
Video or image, yeah.
Is he seeing something in like the static?
It's a good question. I didn't see anything in the static. If he did, then he has better eyesight than I do.
Yeah, I don't see anything in the static either. But doesn't this Ocarina, like, this almost looks, oh, I messaged you, right?
And she already lost it.
That wasn't, like, her message that he was just reading, though, right?
No. I feel like in Sender, she would have had, like, a cute email, or it would have been her name or something.
Okay, when does this happen, right? What, like, already? Like, what? I even put my name on it. Because in the first iteration of it, we are leaving after seeing the satellite landed to go get it in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. So in this time, 26 minutes after the satellite, she already has it and has had time to lose it? Mm-hmm. What? What? I even put my name on it. And then...
Stop, I just thought of something.
What?
If he's able to time travel to stop the stabbing, he probably took the metal Upa or didn't give it to her because it's 10,000 yen if he sells it.
That's a good guess.
And he was like, I could buy gadgets. Yeah, so that could be a thing, is that he stole it from her, hid it from her, or, took it when she wasn't looking.
Maybe, like, that's how he had the money to even pay for the TV at the end of it. I don't know, or something we haven't seen yet. And then we have a scream that sounded a lot like him. Yeah, and then we come up to Carissa dying and being stabbed, right? We don't get anything else about that.
I wonder if that's one of those situations where he has to do it a few times, and maybe that was him screaming because he was unable to stop it that time.
You know what okay. Of course, if you know somebody's going to be stabbed and you can do something to stop it, you would. But based off of their lack of interaction seemingly with each other, I'm like, damn, you're trying really hard to go back in time to save this person. Is there some connection that we don't know yet that they have in the future?
But he also seems like someone who's not going to get too involved for his first couple attempts at saving her. And so I feel like we could interpret that scream as him being like frustration of, I wasn't able to save her, because he obviously didn't. He tried a little bit, but not enough to save her the first time that he tried, or the first couple times. He seems like someone who's, he would probably try some indirect methods at first in order to save her life.
Agreed.
And so that could have been him screaming because in one of his attempts to save her, he was unable to, and that was a frustration scream, because it did sound like him, like his voice actor.
Yeah.
When it happened, it did not sound like her. It's kind of like, there's different movies that characters have to replay a certain loop until they get it right, until they have like a certain ending, and they have to kind of retry all of these very difficult things, and they need to try them in different ways. And so I could see that being what happened there.
We get once they're crossing the street, we get the text that is referenced later in the episode, and it's to Daru, subject, trouble. Looks like someone stabbed Makise Kurisu, right? And so we see him send it. But later it's not sent. So I'm thinking...
And in the translation, they don't even tell us the time that he sent it.
Which is fucking mean. Send. And then the second he touches it is he clicks it, and then it... God.
80840.
Fuck me, dude. What are you doing to me?
There's a bunch of numbers.
And...
Crosswalk's empty.
Okay, my question is, where is he now, right? What happens next?
The satellite fell, and there's no one around because all the onlookers are over by the satellite, and that's why there's no one around, because they're all looking up at the satellite. I don't...
Is that the case? Okay. Dr. Pepper, Ocarine. What is this? The people, why did they all disappear? See, that's not it, though. They're not all gone because they're looking at the satellite. They all everybody left and disappeared for a second. And in that time, or a second afterwards, it seems like Mayuri brought him back to a present with the Dr. Pepper. God. So what's that? Like, the second he sent something, which Daru did receive, but he can find no recollection of, or no trace of him actually sending it in that
like
own
in
present.
His phone doesn't have the text message.
Yeah.
In the sent folder.
I feel like, just like knowing nothing yet, guess it's like there could be 3 different versions going on at the same time. They're continuing to like intertwine
and
or cross.
They can somewhat impact each other.
Yeah.
At unknown times.
And it's like, the people, why did they all disappear? All the people right in front of us. You know, I don't know. I don't know. You have to know. You saw it too, didn't you? And that's when like the rock falls. And what are you talking about? And then he looks up and that's the satellite that crashed into the building. Is everybody looking up here at it, or is it just him? Because it's wild that everybody else, because then the intro happens, right? It's wild that nobody else is looking up at that point.
It could have happened maybe like 20, 30 minutes ago, and so everyone cleared out of the area. They could have it blocked off or something, like you're not supposed to be over there. And
then it transitions to him talking into the monitor. It's wild, dude.
Gosh.
Okay, that's about halfway through. At this point, it was like a little bit more like lighthearted for me. We got a little bit of Alpaca Man. That was fun. That was a good time.
It was an important time.
Anything else from the first half?
At the moment, I'm still trying to kind of wrap my head around what I'm thinking is the kind of rules or the actual happening.
Yeah. Do you like our crew, I guess? Yeah. The 3 of them?
She's a hostage, as she says.
Yeah. Daru's the hacker. And
the super hacker.
And she makes cosplay.
Yeah.
I like Alpaca Man. So what's their whole goal? To create inventions that will bring chaos?
Yeah.
That's wild. To like,
He said he's a mad scientist.
It's like the terms that he uses, organization, and then he wants to like basically put like a wrench in the gear of the ruling structure that's happening. Mm-hmm. But why?
Why?
Other than him just wanting to do it.
Delusional, and like the idea that he needs an enemy so that he can, be creative and feel like a kind of vigilante.
Is that like a bigger Oopa in the bottom left right here?
Possibly. Looks like a panda.
Yeah. True. Not just that. You saw the satellite crash on TV and said, the organization has finally made its move. Like, what the hell?
Meaning that when it... Gosh. I mean, I'm not surprised that I feel a little stumped from a first episode introduction to a show that's obviously talking about things that can be hard to wrap your brain around.
See, at this point, they're all looking up at it, though, mm-hmm. right? When we saw Mayuri give us a Dr. Pepper, and then he saw the crumbling, and then looked up, nobody else is looking up. So that tells me that it's a different point of time or a different place where he is at in that mm-hmm. moment.
And we're getting told that he, in this timeline, watched it on TV.
Yeah, and then wanted to go see it.
Because the conference was canceled.
Okay, and just because Daru gives us some times.
It was 12 at the radio building.
Yeah. He got cold feet and ran off. 12, no it wasn't, man. If it had been, that satellite could have flattened you.
I wonder if it was right in the room. Like it crashed right into that room.
Is it the organization's memory control? The framing of every shot makes me suspicious of Mayuri for some reason. like how like when he's talking about this stuff and she's just like in the background like making cosplay.
She has this like innocent kind of not ditzy necessarily, but spacey aspect to her.
They used the term infinite, right? Mugen. And that is like somehow connected with the whole Steins Gate thing. Like, is it just that whole, it's a loop? You know, this whole thing is like a never-ending loop and you're trying to get out of it.
But it's something that he already has a word for that he expects.
You really like Dr. Pepper.
It's an intellectual drink.
I mean, that's just true. Where did we get to see Mayuri have like the memory of Mayuri standing over a gravestone?
It's right after she hands him the Dr. Pepper in the park, and I think she walks over to a tree right after he's like drinking it and thinking to himself. He's talking, intellectual drink for the chosen ones.
And then he looks up at her,
and then she isn't next to him anymore. She's in a distance. We know, staring at a tree, but in this shot, she looks like a younger girl.
Does she look younger? She's wearing the same thing.
The same hair.
I don't think she looks that much younger.
Maybe it's just, to
maybe
me,
she's
she
just
looks
visiting
shorter, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how tall the graves are, so I think maybe that's why.
Yeah. The cicadas are really loud. I said it during the reaction, but the sound design and direction in this show is nuts. Like, it feels really important, and it feels like it's connecting a bunch of different scenes or memories, or at least or something, or at least to Kiyoma or Okarin.
There's something about it that all of the sound design is reminiscent of the sound when you hear like not only cicada hums, but power line hums and things like that. All those like little sounds that are like, if the world was actually quiet, you would hear the sound of technology, all those little hums.
Yeah. I like the little remote control. It's like a gun that you point at the TV.
Did you like the gel bananas?
I was confused about the gel bananas.
Is that actually what happens when you microwave bananas?
This is the RENG, the phone microwave.
I like that they use her voice, don't they, for their
awesome.
gadgets.
So, do you think that you can manipulate the time here, and then the number of seconds you wish the time to cook? This has to have some importance or connection to the...
Right, what time does he put in? He puts in 12, doesn't he? Like 120.
Yeah, 120 pound. That's I could say that could probably be seen.
So
as
what
12.
if that's him going? He travels
Whoa,
back to
do you
12
see that?
there. No, what?
It's like there.
Yeah.
It could be like that, connecting it to the time somehow. Pretty turntable, isn't it?
And the turntable's turning.
It's like a clock.
The opposite direction.
And it would be clockwise.
Yeah, but it's also to us backwards.
Yeah.
So it's almost like saying the clock, like making us think of the clock, but then thinking of it backwards because the turntable normally moves the other way.
Yeah. So what do you think happened to the bananas? Hasn't changed. Like, obviously it has, right?
Do we have to microwave bananas every single time we want to time travel? She was like, I bought these. And I'm like, that is a lot of bananas you're going to have to buy. How about you just put them in one at a time so that you have like 1, 2, 3, 4 chances to time travel each time?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's in the box on the table?
No clue.
Move, main character. I'm not familiar with it.
Just kind of like move him out of the way.
Yeah.
It might be cosplay materials.
Oh, true.
Since she's working right there.
I can't find a frame. Okay.
It's probably a sewing kit.
Stuff, yeah. They're giving us the same frames with like so many similar shots and detail on each like object that I'm like, why? Why are they showing me all this? Is something gonna change?
I mean, it fits the sound design energy.
Yeah.
Everything has the same tone to it.
It's like
feeling.
constant, but like I don't know.
There's a consistency to it.
What do you think's up with the bananas? Do you think that's mold? Do you think that's like an example of time travel?
It's too oozy, and she called it gel banana. So I have no clue.
Just one of those things.
Oh, the soft and squishy.
Yeah. God. Don't say... please say that. Don't say that again, you pervert.
That was good. I liked that.
Okay, and then the last little bit was...
finding out about the text messages.
Yeah. Work temporarily canceled. Another giant thread. It's a privacy. Oh, the one from last week? So a week has passed to Daru even, right? Since this has happened. It was split into 3 messages. That's why I said, like, the 3 times, potentially. And I thought it was spam. See? Did we get a translate? All of them. 1256, 1256, 1256. No subject. No subject. In the subject line before was when he, when we saw him sending it, the subject line was the thing that, like, he had it filled out. I don't know if that's a translation error or something, but that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you might be right that the subject line was filled in.
It definitely was, or at least it told us it was. Looks like someone stabbed me because I thought that it had a subject line. We're at 21:39. We're almost done. We're at 21:39. And when was it? Right over here, right?
When he sends it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Subject
trouble. You're right. There was.
Yeah.
So why, when Daru receives it, does it not have a subject line for any of them?
Good question. Why was it split
because
up into...
a different him texted it than the one that we saw, and that one chose to not do a subject line?
The message was sent to the past?
Because he feels like he texted it today. But he's hearing that the text message went...
Oh, no. Sent on July 3rd. Didn't we send it on July 28th?
Yeah, we sent it on... Oh!
Can you write down July 3rd, 1256?
Yeah. 23rd at 12:56 is when the text was received. And sent was the 28th.
I thought so. I'm trying to get confirmation. They don't even show us a date here, right?
We were just told earlier in the 28th was for when he got that text that then had that weird image attachment. That was the 28th.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Just checking. He pulls out his phone.
Yep, looks at it.
It's so quick, bro.
Okay. Received mail, date
28th.
The 28th.
12/26. Okay. So I'm writing it down on my stuff too because obviously this is look, this is like some crazy detailed shit. Okay.
Okay, so text received.
Yeah.
23rd, 12:56.
23rd, 12:56.
Yes. The text was sent on
Daru received.
Yes.
The text was sent. We don't know.
We don't know. Yeah.
But he says it was a week before.
Right. He receives this text message on the 28th, and that's the day he thinks it is. He thinks the 28th was the day that she stabbed him.
At 12:26.
So that means to me that he thinks that... That means to me that to him, the 28th is when he sent the text message, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But in his current, memory in that
Were those the only 2 times that we saw his phone? I know that he pulled out his phone when he,
Every other time, I think it was black. There was nothing on the screen.
I think you're right. When he was, when he got the call about the shop, presumably, mm-hmm. I think that all he did was hold it up, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then what about when she was, just leaving and said that it was turned off? You were trying to tell me something, right? And it seemed like... Oh, no. He just kind of played it cool.
Yeah, he played it cool, ran away.
Yeah. And I don't think we get another one until the conversation in the elevator, right? Mm-hmm. Thought it was spam. See, let me check my sent folder.
And then when we get off the elevator, she's there.
So is he in the past right now, I'm assuming, right? He says the 28th.
Yeah. So he thinks that he sent it on the 28th.
But it is still the 28th, right?
Yes,
yeah, okay.
But it was sent last week on the 23rd.
Yeah. Textra Maori update. Re-update. Dari, let's go. Look at this. It's not here. What is today? Prophecy song. Feyris. I made snacks. Ruka.
When he gets off the elevator, she's there.
That's
She's
wild,
not
dude.
stabbed.
What does the date say on the board? That's the last thing I wanted to know. Because it said, I believe, the time of the crash. Unidentified satellite crashed in the building in Tokyo, Akihabara. It just said 12.
Yeah. We can't read all that, unfortunately,
Man.
and they didn't translate it.
God, whoever picked this show, man.
They wanted to destroy
I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't notice the time difference in the phone until like the end of the discussion, but I'm glad that we noticed it. It's gonna make me more,
vigilant
going forward.
Yeah.
All right. That was crazy, dude. Did you like it?
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I'm liking where I think it's going. I'm liking that my brain feels very active at the moment and very stimulated. So I'm excited to continue on with it. Obviously, I feel like a little dumb at the moment, and I think that that's understandable probably with what's being introduced. I mean, anytime you introduce ideas of time travel and multiverses and things like that, I'm always a little bit fuzzy when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Can I say one last thought?
Yes.
Things are easier to work with in solid number increments, like 5, 10, 20, or as a clock would go, 0, 15, 30, 45, 00, right? We have the two times in between the two dates, the 23rd and the 28th, are 12:26 and then 12:56, 30-minute increment in between the two of those. Instead of it being like a solid number, right? What happened in the 6 minutes between 12 p.m. or 12 p.m. or 12:06 p.m.? That's my final, I wonder, because it's weird that we got those 6 extra minutes there. And that's my last crazy thought.
I guess we'll find out eventually.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll never know.
I think the main character's really funny, and I want to get to know him more. And I hope that I can turn my brain off a little bit and just enjoy him.
Instead of trying to read every little movement that he makes.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked it so far a lot. But I'm excited for next episode.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we hope to see you next time.